All right, that leads us. I'm actually going to jump to the youth football. Oh my goodness, the youth football team in Philadelphia. They got caught stealing in Dick's
What?
Sporting Goods. Yeah, after winning the championship too for their school, which is insane.
First and foremost, I want to compliment the Cocoa Tigers. They won the championship after finishing the season 15-0. It was the Atlantic Coast Youth Athletics Association. And they beat the Thoroughbreds 26-6. I mean, they didn't just beat them, they ran over them. And the Thoroughbreds were from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So, Cocoa Tigers, you did it the right way. That's teamwork with great young men doing the right thing. Now I want to introduce you to 8 of the Thoroughbreds. And here they are. You look at the Thoroughbreds and you find out, what were they doing? What were they doing on Saturday morning? Well, let me tell you what they were doing. They Ubered from where they were staying. They had come from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, down to the Dick's Sporting Good in Posner Park. Not only did they Uber down there to shop, they had no intentions of paying for their product. So they came into the store in 2 groups, and they began to systematically steal product. And that's exactly what they did. They stole, and they stole, and they stole, and they stole, and they stole. Yeah, how do you like that? This is everything that they stole. And guess what? As we've said before, you can't go any place, anytime, that you're not on a camera. So Dick's Sporting Goods knows that they're stealing because they're watching this systematic, organized theft ring called a football team.
Did they win the championship or did they lose? Did they win or lose?
They won, but because of their actions now of stealing over $2,000 in merchandise at Dick's Sporting Goods, they're in jeopardy of losing that championship title because of their actions. They got arrested and brought down to the jail, and the coach was asking Dick's and the sheriff not to press charges on these youth players, saying that they have nothing better to do. But I feel like they should have been stealing in the first place. Second place, where are their parents? Where are their parents? And thirdly, like why not teach them a lesson? Like stealing it's not a good thing. It's not a good look, and these are the consequences of your actions. You can't just be going around and taking things, So I feel like they should learn a lesson from this, and they shouldn't drop the charges, but they should definitely let them hold some accountability for their actions.
Yes. I feel as if, yes, they should be charged, but I feel like we should, the sheriff department, because for one, I'm sorry, but delivery is everything. The way that sheriff talked about these players, called them freaking, what did he call them? Systematic, organized. They were a systematic, organized theft. I personally didn't like that because they're saying this as if it's a constant thing that happens with this set of Black boys. So I feel as if labeling them as this theft ring, I felt like that was a horrible thing to say to an audience, let alone to the nation. Everybody has access to YouTube.
He was doing a little bit too much, but I did see what he was trying to say. He was trying to say the way they positioned themselves in the store and the way they were going about it was systematic, not I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but delivery is everything. Also, I do feel as if that these individuals should be charged, but we should look at not like the parenting, the supervision. Where were the parents? Where was the coach? Stuff like that. And then also I know in some states, the actions of a child can like the parent can be charged for the actions of the charge, or the person who was supposed to be supervising them, or whatever the case may be. I don't really know too much about the actual law, but they were charged with felonies. So,
Wow.
I mean, $2,000 is a lot, but split amongst all of those individuals, I feel as if they should have been charged, but I don't feel as if they
Yeah, a
should be
felony is
charged.
too much. Yeah, that's a high charge.
Yeah,
Because it's
felony
not
and
one
retail theft.
individual
And,
that stole $2,000. It's a group of them. I agree with you, TT.
yep, yep. What's your thoughts, cousin Jimmy?
Yeah,
You
let's
think
hear
they
what
should have
cousin
been
Jimmy got to
charged
say.
with felony, or you think the charge should have been lower?
Well, I got a chance to see what y'all are talking about, and I believe that there is a level of accountability for theft. And listen, listen, I have to admit, one day, me and Bubba, we were out, this when we were young, out there running the country roads, and we saw that one of I don't want to say the guy's name, but anyway, the guy had maybe about 3 or 4 chickens that were just roaming around the yard, and we knew that we needed some eggs, and so we stole the chickens. Okay, yes, we stole. The guy had about another 50 damn chicken. We didn't have any chickens, and we actually ran away with four chickens so we can have some eggs. And I feel guilty. I repented and prayed to the good old Lord, and I believe that He had delivered us from that sin. But so I have to admit, I did a little bit of that thieving myself. Anyway, I do believe in accountability. I do believe that the sheriff in that town down there in Florida, I think it's Polk County. I actually think we got some distant relatives down there in Florida, but hey, I believe the sheriff in that county did the right thing, holding those young men accountable. But I do agree that the tone of the sheriff was a little out of bounds to me. These are young men. They've made a poor decision, as we
Yeah.
all do as young people and adults as well. And, they should not have gotten that sort of verbal treatment and publicly in front of the world to see, as if they were some 30-year-old or 20-some-year-old grown man, or 40, 50, who the hell cares? If they were over 18 and you want to put them out there on a poster, well, do it. But these are just young men who made a horrible decision, and they deserve an opportunity to rebound from this. And with the way that the social media and how things work with the internet, and this would travel with these young men for the rest of their lives. They can go for job interviews, and all you have to do is type the name in Google and this could pop up. And I don't think that those young men deserve to have this, travel with them throughout their entire lives, making a mistake like that. I don't agree with that part, but I
What
do agree
about
with the accountability.
what about them be taking away their championship winning from them, from the
Well,
team?
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Now that part, that's fine. That's, you know what? Because I do agree with one thing the sheriff said. I give him credit now. I give him a little credit. I do agree with one thing, and my cousin Donald would agree with this as well too. One thing I agree with is that the sheriff said that the coaches are responsible. And I agree with that because they are grown men. The head coach, who I understand he's going there, he's trying to convince the folks not to charge this young man, but you're the coach, and the parents are trusting you to look after their loved one. And you're a young man that you're leading out there, and you don't know where they are. You don't know where they are. They're in a totally, I think they're from Philadelphia, somewhere up there up north, where it's very cold. Yeah, they're down there in Florida, and you have a coach who's a grown man who's supposed to be looking after them. How do you not know where your players are? I mean, there's supposed to be rounds and checks being done. Your assistant coaches are supposed to go around if they're in hotel rooms. You should have assistant coaches in each hotel room, or at least on each floor, or in each area where the players are residing at, so you can look over the guys.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
So that's my
Supervision is
take.
everything.
What was
Yeah.
that?
Supervision is everything.
Yeah, it is, and it's sad because these young men nowadays, you all know everything's all over the internet and social media. They're TikTok and they're boomboxing and YouTubing and all. And I tell you, this can follow these young men. I hope it doesn't. I hope people can forgive and forget because they made a poor decision. And I hope the young man learn a lesson. They learn a lesson not to steal because that's a bad habit to pick up. You do not want to continue with that habit because that could definitely lead to you getting killed. You steal from the wrong person, you could
That's
lose your
true.
life.
Yeah.
That's true, cousin Jimmy.